Ladies and gentlemen, we are here live for the exclusive interview you have all been waiting for. It is King Leo, out of the shadows. Nothing's going to be held back. This is live. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. This is not an interview. This is a shoot, ladies and gentlemen. If me and this man are going to come to blows, it's going to happen. We're going to have our differences. Matter of fact, our differences are on the line right now. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Whatever I need to say, I'm going to say, and whatever he needs to say, he's going to say. But, like I said, this is the King Leo exclusive interview, Out of the Shadows. Want to thank you for watching this and listening to it. Before we start, we want to remind you that if you like what you hear, be kind enough to give us a like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, share it. You can find us on social media, JTV WWE. That's a space in between JTV and WWE. Our Facebook, our Instagram, JTV_wrestling. Our Twitter, @officialJ_TV. And our website, jtvcawwrestling.webs.com. Now, King Leo, how are you feeling today? Confident?
More than just confident. I would say ambitious.
Ambitious, huh? It just never seems to diminish when it comes to you. Ambitious. You ready for this interview?
I was born ready.
Here we go. Question number 1. We're going to journey back. We're going to go old school. Here's your question number 1. When you first began your career with JTV WWE in 2006, now, this is a time when JTV Wrestling wasn't its counterpart brand that it is now. It was a WWE brand under the JTV house, so to speak. But now, it's a whole nother ball game. Back then, it was a whole nother ball game as well. But when you first began your career with JTV WWE in 2006, what did you expect, and what was that experience like?
Well, to be honest, when I first walked into JTV, the only thing that I expected was greatness, and that was more than a hypothesis that I built for myself, because obviously I answered my own hypothesis, because it doesn't take a brain surgeon to see the career that I've laid out for myself. What did the experience feel like? I always expect nothing but the best for myself. So I always gave myself that expectation that I knew nobody else would set for myself, and that was to be the best, just to go out and to prove that I'm the best no matter what, and to always stay true to myself and true to my opinion, and never to fall down to the opinions of others.
All right, very well. Question number 2. A year later, you're starting to see success. You're doing good. You made a hell of an impact coming into JTV WWE. You're competing on, I believe you started out on SmackDown, right? Worked your way up to Raw. And now it's 2007. It's a year later. And for question 2, you form a team in WWE with Vice and called the Hoods. What did that do for your career? And will we ever see a possible reunion?
In terms of what the Hoods did for my career, it taught me valuable lessons that I think helped me propel myself, as in terms of not trusting anybody, and that's gotten me a long way because it's gotten me multiple title reigns.
Yes.
Other than that, in terms of us ever having a reunion, that I can say only time can tell. In terms of what I feel myself, hell no, because I can forgive, but I can never forget. But things that I don't think I can never things I don't think I can ever forget were being on the hoods. You know, we did dominate on SmackDown. We did win the WWE Tag Team Championships on the same night that I won the Royal Rumble. I think I was just as much of a great influence on Bison as he kind of was on me, because, like I said, he helped me in certain areas to propel forward, as well as I feel that I brung out the championship caliber Bison that everybody sees today.
All right, now we're here with King Leo. We're moving into question 3. And by the way, this is J Kid and King Leo. We are live. This is the King Leo Out of the Shadows exclusive interview that you're listening to right here on YouTube. All right, now, question number 3. What did it mean to you when you first won the WWE Championship?
I felt like I was on top of the world. Did I expect to win it within my first year? To be honest, no. But I did. And from there I knew that it was, like I said, it was a great and excellent moment for me, because now I felt like here's this rookie, this new face that just out of nowhere grasped the championship that men like Roddy Piper and people that have never seen this belt around their waist. I just did it within 1 year, so that set a real tone and a confidence maker for me. But I knew also that all the work that I put in, even though it was only within 1 year, I knew all the work that I put in to get that belt, and I knew as time went along the work I had to put in to keep that belt around my waist.
This is just a little side question that I just, you said Roddy Piper, and something just crossed my mind. That'd be a real good question for the fans. Do you think, or was there anybody in wrestling, in the history of wrestling, that you might have fashioned yourself behind, or that you see yourself being like that individual? Or did you have a favorite that maybe you followed and then, you finally eventually became who you are today?
I don't think I followed anybody. I think I probably looked at certain pieces that probably certain superstars maybe have brought to the table. Maybe like a couple of my favorites, Chris Jericho. Regardless of what anybody thinks of what he done, which we all know was horrible, but Chris Benoit in the ring was still, one of my favorites. Chris Benoit, Chris Jericho, even Shawn Michaels. From a show-stopping, charismatic point of view, and just a light in the crowd, because a lot of times in matches, depending on how you respond to the crowd, can also be an influence on how you perform in the ring. Because at the end of the day, we're performing for the fans and performing so they can be fully entertained in what they're seeing and continue to be entertained, continue to spread that. But other than that, those individuals, I would say, contributed to my style of wrestling. But no way in hell that would I say that I followed them. I would say that I kind of analyzed certain pieces from them and molded into my own style, which I kind of did, with the whole combo system and all that. I think that I really utilized that to end the ring to my advantage like nobody else does.
Nice. And then another question that just came to mind is, your side hobby outside of JTV when you're not in the ring competing. Now, King Leo has done a little bit of MMA, cage fighting, UFC, and he has a passion for basketball. And a lot of your fans, a lot of people know that, you're a big basketball mark. So, what is more difficult for you as far as, regiment, preparation, training, the competition that goes into it, the endurance, longevity? What seems to be the toughest for you, basketball or pro wrestling?
I would say neither. I would say neither, because toughness is all of a mindset. I just got to a point where I trained myself, and I'm continuing to train my mind to just be strongest, even in my most uncomfortable situations. Because where we're put in our most uncomfortable situations, where we can see true results and true growth. Because if we're always put in a comfortable situation, it's easy. It's a walk in the park. It's something that we could just do, but there's no learning from that. Versus something that's more complex. In terms of longevity, I would say injury-wise, basketball, because me being the person I am, I'm a very aggressive player, and not just that. And I also know there's a lot of other guys who are more probably physically strong, and capable of knocking my ass to the floor. And I do take a lot of those bumps and bruises, but that I don't let those bumps and bruises and wear and tear on my body interfere with, oh man, I'm hurt, so I can't perform for the show. I still put that in my mindset that I can still push through and overcome those obstacles.
All right. You've heard it here. You've heard it first from King Leo. Question number 4. And I want to break down question number 4 just a little bit for those fans who are watching and listening at home that didn't really get an opportunity, haven't gotten an opportunity yet to discover the ancient treasury history of JTV Wrestling. Humble beginnings. But for 1 year, JTV was a part of Xbox. Now that may come as a shock to some people because there aren't a lot of people that knew that we were on Xbox. And what pretty much happened there was we were getting ready to come to PlayStation 3. We were on PlayStation 2. I believe the last game that was on PS2 was, I think it was 08. No, it was
it was Smash 2011.
It was 2011. 11?
Yeah, that was the one with the Miz, Big Show, and John Cena on it. And he was like, yeah, it was 2011 because after that became WWE 12.
Well, we were running roughshod in 2007, okay, and we had a good run in 07. King Leo had an opportunity to win the WWE Championship and held on to it for about a year. And 2 years, excuse me.
I lost in 09.
And as he held on to the championship, and he had it in 07, he was scheduled to compete against Bret the Hitman Hart at our SummerSlam. And during that time, we just went on a hiatus for a year. At the time, I've been working. I've been going to school. And the schedule was just taking a huge toll on me. And this is as we transition into 08, that is. And it was just something that led to going on a hiatus. And also, there was some controversy going on between myself and a former JTV superstar wrestler by the name of Jax Record, who is an alumni to our brand and who has almost as much as us contribute to the building of this foundation and this circuit. But, me and Jack's Record, the character, in real life, me and the guy, we've had our differences, and also King Leo and Jack's Record have their differences in real life. And I was not, I wasn't getting along with him because he was involved in a lot of different kind of things that I just didn't approve of in real life. And it was part of the main reason I wanted to stop doing the show. And man, I just remember when we went on a hiatus, it just felt like everybody just went in their direction for a little bit. And 2008 comes out. We got a hold of it. By this time, it was just pretty much the two characters, Kevin Impact and King Leo, who were combined. Me and him, when we got a hold of the game, we check it out. We started feeling the passion again, and we both agreed that we needed to bring the show back. But 08, because originally the way it was is we would record shows on VHS, on cassettes back then. And, that went on for a couple of years, and then we went on. We moved. We jumped over, and we were getting ready to go into a new system. PlayStation 3 was obviously what I wanted. It was the future of JTV. But because of complications, we went another route. We wound up on Xbox. So when we did Xbox for a year, we came back in SmackDown vs. Raw 2009. It was a huge comeback. There was a lot of different things that happened that led to that point. And question 4, you go on a year's hiatus. We get back, and now question 4 is, in 2009, JTV WWE returned after a year's absence on SVR09. During this time, you got to compete on the ECW roster for a few and win the ECW title. You also invented an alter ego named Genocide. How did you see this forming? Because I know that I helped you out as far as face paint. Halloween came along, and that was the original story. He wanted to come up with this persona. That's how I remember it. He wanted to come up with this dark persona. And when Halloween came around, he was a little young. I started putting face paint on him, and he went out like that. He was Genocide for Halloween, if that isn't badass enough. But during this time and a little before that, how did you see this all building?
Well, before any of the face paint or any type of event occurred, I don't know. I have a creative mind. I feel that I have a very imaginative mind. That is different from a lot of other people. And part of those with imaginations was me creating a alter ego of King Size at the time. Well, Jamil Gordon, like I said, for you rookies who don't know, I was Jamil Gordon. And then from there, I went to King Size, and then from there, that's when King Size had a small Revelations career where he felt like a certain entity entered into him where he was kind of battling that, and he decided to just give in to his rage because he was frustrated with how things were going. And I came up with the concept genocide because for those who don't know, genocide means the killing or manslaughter of a whole particular group, similar to what Hitler did with the Jews. No offense to any of you Jewish people out there.
No offense, guys.
I'm gonna say to my opinion. So I just thought of creating that concept of a vigilante who stands for neither what's good or for what's right, but what he feels is what's right.
So he was an anti-hero.
Yes. Had a whole lot of ass kicking.
Go on to question 5. Year later, 2010, JTV WWE went worldwide with Community Creations. Now this is groundbreaking stuff. I mean, for me and you, you know this, man, and you're with me, man. For me and you, there were so many times when we were coming up, we had to change things up. And King Size will tell you, man. King Leo will tell you, when we had to record those shows, man, we needed to change up the color chords to get the volume in. We needed to do the voiceovers. And man, it was just a hectic time. And this was making it much easier for us because now we had cutscenes and all that kind of stuff, and people could watch the show. It wasn't on the internet quite yet, but it was worldwide to where people could get a hold of it if you had the game. It made things easier for us. It got a little repetitive. It had its limitations to it. There was a lot more freedom in many ways that we had back then, as opposed to what Community Creations offered. And Community Creations is passe now. It's just something that, as far as doing shows, I'm telling you right now, me personally, I'm honestly retired from doing any shows on any WWE game on Community Creations ever again. That's how I feel about that. But JTV, WWE, our brand that we've been building on for a couple years, people can now watch it. It's 2010. Okay, what did this mean for you and JTV Entertainment?
Well, first off, a relief, a relief, because like I said, a lot of people, like to criticize. Like I said, not to sidetrack, but a lot of these rookies out here, a lot of people out here, they like to criticize me, for what King Leo is now, for what King Leo is doing now. But none of them were ever there for what, King Leo did in the past. And if it wasn't for King Leo's, I'm sorry that I'm not sorry to say, there would be none of these people that we have now. So I felt that was a relief because one, I felt it made it more easier for us to broadcast all the hard work that we did. And once again, we put all this hard work in, and there's no audience, people online around the world that can see this. So the fact that we could put it online for everybody to see, we're finally working towards a goal now. Because first we were working towards our own entertainment, not the fact that it still wasn't our own entertainment when we was on communications, but now we moved on to a bigger goal, which is being noticed by the world, getting more people to come into JTV, to understand the ways of JTV, to become a family member of JTV, and for us to spread worldwide and to continue to spread and continue to be, a great inspiration upon many other people. So I felt that was the best way for business. I mean, because of that, it's led to the next idea, which was YouTube. So I felt that it really paved the way for the business, helped it to be more efficient. It really did help company growth.
Man, and boy, did it ever grow. I mean, 733 views already on the page, not one episode up yet. And we got a whole bunch, man. Just a ass load of entertainment coming you guys' way, from past shows from back in the day to previous shows that are retro. I mean, interviews. We got movies coming out. We got a whole bunch of crazy stuff going on. And I think you guys are really going to like. You got to tell your friends. You got to tell your family. You got to tell your loved ones and people that you know. Got to share the word. JTV's out there. Subscribe. Let's get it out there. Man, you had such a great year in 2011. I can still remember the match that you had with The Undertaker at Judgment Day. For the title, and just a really solid year. What's that? Okay, you can speak about that. You could correct me. It was Armageddon. It was Armageddon.
It wasn't Judgment Day. It was Armageddon. Armageddon was when I defeated The Undertaker for the championship, the Royal Rumble. Actually, I forgot which came to be first, Armageddon or Royal Rumble. It's been many years, and that pay-per-view is has been out the list for a while, so it's hard to remember. I believe Armageddon is before the Rumble, I think. Yeah. I'm getting old. I believe so. Well, point is, I beat Undertaker at Royal Rumble for the title, and then I retained it at the Royal Rumble, which was the following pay-per-view. Man. So, yeah, you had some good matches with Kevin Nash that year too when he came back. And Shawn Michaels. Some good matches, and you had that match at Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania that fans are going to get to see on retro mode, which is kind of cool. It was just a really good year, good successful year for you. You had the anxiety theme going on, which was pretty cool. I think it was no, it wasn't. It was the second year that we had highlight reel for entrance videos. Yeah, but it was just cool though, because it was just changing every year and you could do more stuff. But 2011, like the entrance video that we had for you was just one of my favorites. It was a slow start. It was just nice. But it was a great year. But we're going to talk about 2012 in the next question. Question number 6. 2012, JTV had to make an executive decision. It was a major decision, but it was a decision that was made. And I like to believe that this decision wasn't even made by me. Okay, I like to think that this decision was made by Corey Ledesma, Brian Williams, and all of those other
little punks over there that were at THQ making all these decisions. All right. Now I'm going to be brutally honest about this. All right. I had a huge problem with a lot of the decisions that was being made on community creations because it seemed like they were always making decisions for the worst. All right. Whoever thought of the idea of you being able to upload stories and it's like, you know, they remove them and they don't stay on there. You know, you got people that spend countless hours, maybe weeks, months working on a show or a couple of shows, you know, for the fans, and it's like you guys just remove it as if it's nothing. It's not right, you know.
You don't even allow the people to see it.
You lag it up. You lag up the system. People trying to, you know, play their game online. You lag it up, you know. And I'm gonna get on 2K's ass too. It's the same thing with the NBA games and the WWE games online. They lag them up, you know. And they always talking about this patch. Oh, we got a patch. We're working on a patch. It never fixes anything. Okay, are we at war here? A patch? You know, is this World War III? A patch? You're gonna put a patch on everything? So it's like, here it is. Okay, 2012 was the worst year for the WWE game server. It was bad, and anybody who's listening right now to this interview knows what I'm talking about. If you had 2012 and you were there and you experienced it, you know how bad that server was. All right. Now, a decision had to be made because of that and because of the fact that the WWE had this other stupid thing that they wanted to include, that, you know, DLC. No DLC allowed. Okay? 2010, Stone Cold was the only DLC for SmackDown vs. Raw 2010. You use him on the storylines, it was allowed. Time goes by. I guess it was decided that whoever downloaded a story and Stone Cold's on it, you could play as Stone Cold, and they felt like they were being robbed. You know, I guess that's probably what they felt. 2011 comes around, great DLC. They put WCW in the game. You got the Nexus, you got the NXT Arena, you got Lex Luger, you got all of this great DLC, but you can't use it online. It was absolutely pathetic and worthless, and it ruined JTV's year. That year, there was so many innovative stuff we could have done. They ruined it. All right.
It was very cheesy online. Extremely cheesy.
Extremely. So you know, in WWE 12 was a game that, like I said, the server was bad, but oh boy, the DLC problem that went on for 2 years. Okay, for 2 years we had to deal with if you have DLC in the storyline, you cannot upload. Ridiculous. Even when you didn't have DLC, it would seem that your story had DLC. They would say it has DLC, and you got to go through this whole search system where you got to try to check your moveset, change entrances, and all this kind of stuff, because one little DLC is not allowed. It was just ridiculous. Not even a moveset, a finisher. You couldn't even have a taunt that was DLC. It was just terrible. So a decision was made because of the fact that in 2012, I moved. I got my house out there in Arizona. I'm doing the show out there. You know, I got a couple of demons I'm dealing with in my life. None point intended. And, you know, I'm having my problems with you know who and everything else is going on. And it's like, I'm doing the show as best as I can. I'm busy. It's hard to do the show. And it's even harder, excuse me, because you got all this stuff that you're dealing with in your life. Okay? So it's very difficult to just sit there and put your mind on the storyline. Put pen to paper, like I always say. So it's like, it was difficult, but I remember coming up with a SmackDown that had William Regal as the general manager. Okay? William Regal's got a suit on WWE 12, and that's because of that faction that was formed. I don't remember what the name of the faction was with Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. I don't remember. I think it was called New England or something like that. So they got the faction. So Regal's got the suit in the game. He was going to be our general manager on SmackDown, okay? I had an entire episode of Tribute to the Troops that I was getting ready to put online. And I did like this whole research study on Europe. And I got a couple of statistics and all that kind of stuff, you know, from the 1800s. and William Regal's cutting a badass promo, and I'm putting all this information in there, and I can't upload it. So now I'm pissed off, but not like any other time. I've been pissed off many, many times before when we come up with a good show and I got to re-edit it because I can't upload it because of the DLC. But the thing is, I can't put this show up after putting all this hard work into it, all this good stuff into it. I can't put it up. I made an executive decision that I was done. I was done with JTV WWE. I finished. I stopped. I just didn't want to do the show anymore. I was disgusted at THQ. I was disgusted that they made such a stupid decision, and we move on. I set a date. I set a time. I go into February 2012, and it's basically a new beginning. I'm thinking to myself, hey, maybe we should branch out into our own branch. Maybe we should be our own show. We got bashed on a lot by a lot of people criticizing us for being a WWE-based show. Many, many, many times. A lot of individuals came at us and would just say, oh, you call this entertainment, you call that innovative. You got Jake Roberts and you're just changing the color on his tights. Well, newsflash, buddy, we got a lot of ratings, and also people dug the show. They liked the show, and it was a damn good show every single time. Okay, and we were a WWE based show. All right, we switch over to the JTV thing. Okay, me personally, I like the decision. I think it was better. It makes our show much more realistic. We got to showcase a lot of the stars that were on the program at the time, like Flash and King Leo. Kevin Impact wasn't necessarily, on the marquee, but he was the general manager. And, you had a lot of big names that were there. You had the Freak Show, You had a lot of good talent to work with, all right? We branched it out. It's 2012. And question 6 for you, because I'm ranting over here. Excuse me, King Leo. In 2012, your question number 6 is in 2012, JTV branches out into its own. What do you think about that decision? Was it a good decision? Was it a bad decision? Should have stood? Is it good that we changed? What do you think?
It was neither a good or bad decision. I feel that it was a great decision because a lot of superstars I'm a person who likes to be an individual as well as be original. And yes, in a way, we were WWE based show because we had a ton of WWE superstars on the show. So I felt like switching to JTV. A lot of superstars, or not even superstars, a lot of people, period, who weren't getting the airtime. Well, they just wasn't going to get the airtime because you had big superstars from JTV and WWE. It's just common sense to whoever's viewing the show. I mean, if your favorite wrestlers from JTV are not getting that much airtime when we were a WWE-based show, that's because it was so many big names. And the fact that we split into our own brand, it tells the world that, look, we're our own people, we're our own brand, we are here. We are also given the opportunity for more individuals like us to come in to this company. Not only did it provide individuality and originality, it also gave people a chance who just flat out weren't going to grow when we were combined with WWE. Now they have a lot more airtime. Now tons of people have a lot more airtime, and a lot more time to shine. And the fact that we are our own brand, that just tells everybody else that, look, you really can't say anything about us because we realized our mistakes, which it really wasn't a mistake because at the end of the day, we still have fans supporting our show. But now people see us more for JTV. There is no JTV WWE. People now see us as just JTV. And that is what we want to set into people's minds, that we are not WWE. We do not follow the policy of WWE. We're nothing like the WWE. We're definitely nothing like TNA. We are JTV. And that's where we begin, and that's where we end at. We're JTV.
Absolutely. This is unquestionably. It's like I always say, I consider this the toughest brand, and it really is the toughest CAW brand to be a part of And I know there's going to be a lot of people that are going to say, well, Jay, how can you make that statement? CAW, that's a big town right there. You got a lot of different brands. How could you say that? Well, the thing is, in this roster, in some other programs, right, the way they do the whole match system, the whole championship system, who's going to get the title shot, who's going to hold the belt, who's going to wrestle this guy, what storyline is going to happen. It's kind of like, Constitution, all this kind of stuff. They go to votes. In JTV, we don't vote. We kick your ass. We wrestle. We step into the ring and we wrestle. If you suck, you go to next gen, you get better. If you're not good at next gen, you keep training. You go underground. You earned your way to that damn roster, by all means. No matter how much time it takes, you're not going to get to that damn roster until you're good enough to compete there. And there's been many, many, many who have tried to get on the roster, but it is difficult. It is hard ass to get on that roster. And when you get on the roster, it's harder to stay on that roster. That's just how it is. It's just how it's always been. Everybody that's on this roster has had to bust their ass and sacrifice literally to be a part of this roster. And what do I mean by that? Well, there's been many, many times that myself and King Leo had to sacrifice time with our family. Okay, special days when we had to go out and do something, maybe with our girlfriends, maybe time with our girlfriends, maybe time with family, something that we needed to do, somewhere we needed to go, a holiday. We would miss it. Parties, whatever the hell it had to be, we would miss it because it's the weekend. We got to do the show. And it became even more important when we were on Community Creations, okay? We believe in what the hell we do because that's how we are. It's not just because it's a video game. This is important to us because it represents us as an individual. It is the strength of us. So we respect ourselves and we represent and respect that strength, okay? We know, okay, that we have not an obligation, but a fulfillment to entertain people around the world every single weekend. And we work hard to do that, okay? This is not bragging. It's just we've proven it, okay? When Bret the Hitman Hart say he's the best there ever was and best there ever will be, it's not just bragging. The man has proven it. We prove what we do, okay? It is a tough roster to be a part of. You have to sacrifice to be a part of this roster. And another thing I'm going to add to that as well, okay? What was it? Competing here on JTV, it's difficult, but man, I'm getting old. I'm forgetting what I was going to say. It's tough to compete here on JTV. It's tough to stay on this roster, okay? It's not easy to get into this roster. You got to prove yourself. It's hard to stay on it. It's hard to get on this roster, and it's not a walk in the park. And the other thing I was going to say is that, man, Community Creations, we killed Community Creations. I don't care what nobody has got to say. All the respects to everybody else who's done it. There's been nobody that's been on that's been as consistent as we have. We don't do the 6 months vacation thing and then come back. We don't do that. We entertain fans every week, every single weekend, every month, all year. There's no off seasons. It's not baseball. It's not basketball. Okay. You don't take time off to train and nothing like that. No, you have to compete. When do you train? Before the show, after the show, during the week. You got to work on your promos, got to work on your look, got to work on your in-ring capability. It's just how it is, okay? It's not bragging, okay? We broke Community Creations. Everybody, social media talks about Kim Kardashian breaking the internet or Amber Rose breaking the internet. JTV broke Community Creations, okay? Over 1,000 downloads. 2014 was the most successful year for JTV, hands down by itself. Okay, we broke records that have never been broken, and we broke records that we've never broken, that we've never reached before. Okay, and before that, we did great. We had a successful run in Community Creations, but in 2014, man, we took it to a whole new level. Okay, and this is what we do. It's not bragging. This is what we do. This is what we believe in. This is what we feel. Okay? Are we the best? We're not here saying we're the best. We're here proving to you that we are capable of being the best.
Well, I'm saying it.
King Leo. So, okay, so seeing is believing. And that's what we do, and that's what we're here to do. So, with that being said, we're going to question 7, King Leo. My favorite number, number 7. 2015 is a whole new year, a whole new experience that adds on to that body of work that is the past. The track record that we've left, the fans that have known us. And I want to add for the record that former SND founder, Dark Larry G, who used to wrestle for JTV as the hero, contacted me earlier today. It's good to hear from him. Haven't heard from him in a while, but that was not irrelevant to this. But question number 7 is, 2015 is a whole new year, man. You know, there's so many records that are just waiting to be broken this year for us. But you, this is about you and only you. What can we expect from you this year in 2015 for JTV Films, JTV Wrestling, your career, you as a person, and how do you feel about JTV's move to YouTube?
I want to touch up on. I want to talk about the YouTube part first.
Go right ahead.
Well, it's no secret that when we were younger, we always had the ideas of how we can broadcast a show to a wider audience. First, it started with community creations, and after that, it was the idea of recording it and putting it on YouTube for people to see it, and hopefully, signing a deal with YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
So multiple people can subscribe to our page, see our work in action, and we could just get popular like that, get known, and from there, we could probably travel around the world. And to me, the sky isn't the limit. Do I feel it will promote company growth? Of course, hell yeah. I mean, there's a bunch of great commentators, on YouTube that get a lot of views because they put in the effort. So, I mean, if we put in the effort, if not twice as much as the effort, hey, we could really outsoar a lot of people. We could really upset a lot of people online. We could be a really huge upset. In terms of what can the fans expect me to do, well, that I can just give you a simple line, and that line is for me to know and for the rest of you to find out.
Going a little old school now. All right. Well, I don't need to look at question 7. Like I said, this is a shoot. We talk about whatever the hell we want. I mean, Kevin Impact and King Leo have always been outlaws and rule breakers. That's just how it's always been. It took him a little longer because he was still growing, when he was young in his career. But he picked it up. And now that he's picked it up, he's not putting it down. And to say that you've had an illustrious career is an understatement, because you had such a good career here that when your DVD comes out, I mean, it is going to be amazing. I'm looking forward to that. And by the way, we got a surprise for you guys after this interview. So just keep listening. Don't go anywhere. Don't skip ahead. Question number 8. In the entire career that you've had, just this really good career, wonderful career. I mean, man, I think about it. You got to wrestle all the big names. The who's who of JTV and WWE, and it was just badass. But man, you got to wrestle so many people. If you can narrow it down to one individual, you take the WWE, you take JTV, you smash them together like you're making a sandwich. You're going all out. Okay, let's say it. You competed against Low Rider, okay? You competed against The Undertaker. You competed against John Cena, Shawn Michaels. You had a little cameo with Bret the Hitman Hart. You had a little cameo with The Rock. Then you had a fight with The Rock recently, a couple months back. You had your match with VIP. I mean, so many big dogs that you've competed against. And man, let's not forget about the TNA invasion, the JTV, and then the Freak Show invasion as well, which was huge. The match with Kurt Angle at JTV versus TNA was just it was memorable. And Kurt just a really good guy. And I will put WWE on the spot by saying that you guys are idiots for not signing him back. Who's big nose?
Triple H is a big ass.
Who's big nose? Pipe bomb. Whose big nose is causing all this? I mean, come on. Moving on, though. Question number 8, King Leo. If you could narrow all your opponents down, you go through an elimination process as if you're taking a test, and you narrow it down to just one individual that, possessed the chemistry that gave you the best match, that gave you the best rivalry, that, in your opinion, gave you the best match, your favorite that can qualify as your most favorite opponent thus far in your career, because your career is not over yet. You haven't gone to the Hall of Fame. You're still running with it. If you narrow it down to one guy, who's that guy?
Well, that's an easy question. The answer might shock a lot of people, but it's actually Kevin Impact. As I said before, I'm not going to go back on my answer, nor am I going to regret anything I say or do. The reason why I say his name is not in any form of ass kissing, because I don't give him or anybody else really any sort of recognition beyond myself anyways. To be honest, I feel like I am the best wrestler, and I think I have proved that I'm the best wrestler in this company. But I would say that it will have to be Kevin Impact for the simple fact he's the only person I can say I can consider a true rival. He's done a lot of great things in this business. More than a veteran. And, he's the only person I feel that can challenge me in a way. I mean, at the end of the day, I still feel in my heart that I'll win. But, compared to all you other rookies, y'all just not cutting it. I'm just not feeling it. Y'all don't have that it factor or that factor that catches my eye or catches my concern, that is something that I have to watch my shoulder over for. It's just not there. And if that's coming from me, then that shows that you really need to step your game up. And you really need to step up if you want to impress me. And hey, you don't have to impress me, but just know, in my heart, I'm still going to feel you suck and you're not better than me, because that's just my mentality. But, like I said, it will have to be Kevin Impact.
Man, King Leo just hiding the hostilities right now over here. Oh, boy. Man, I had a question for you, and I think I forgot what it was. I'm aging. Like I said, I'm aging. Man, well, I'm definitely looking forward to whenever I'm going to get an interview, Kevin Impact-wise. But I feel flattered that you feel that Kevin Impact is your, utmost challenging opponent. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we hope that you've thoroughly enjoyed this interview with King Leo here, courtesy of JTV Wrestling. We got a huge surprise for you that we want to reveal right now. I'll have King Leo's intake or outtake on that in a moment, but want to reveal at this time that you got this tonight. You're getting this interview tonight. Next week, you're going to get another good bundle, because next week, on this day, you are going to receive the official brand new JTV Wrestling, or should I say JTV Films release of Power Rangers Rebirth, the trailer. It is the first film that we're releasing, in my opinion, to the world. It isn't the first one, but it's the first one going global now. And the trailer is going to release next Saturday. So tonight, you guys are getting King Leo exclusive Out of the Shadows interview. Next week, you're going to be getting the trailer. King Leo's going to be in that film along with VIP, Jason David Frank, who was the original Green, White Ranger, Red Ranger. I think he was a Black Ranger one time as well. Considered the greatest Power Ranger of all time. With these three names on the marquee JTV Films Power Rangers Rebirth, it's not a reboot. It's not retelling the story. It's going back to the beginning, being told in the JTV sense. That's what it is. Because I really don't like reboots, and I really don't like restarting a story all over again. I'm just against it, so we're telling the story our way, so to speak, with our cast. So, for those Power Rangers fans that continue the story, you want some more information, you go on our website, jtvcawwrestling.webs.com / if it doesn't work good. You can follow us, Instagram, JTV_wrestling. Follow us on Twitter as well, at official J_TV. Also on Facebook, JTV space WWE. Also, be kind enough to like our page. King Leo, why don't you go ahead and, you got to see the trailer today for your new movie coming out. What do you got to tell the fans? Give them a little 411 on the trailer that they're going to get next week.
They will just have to see that for themselves. I can't speak for them. They will just have to take it upon themselves if they truly want to see King Leo in Power Rangers Rebirth.
What did you think of it?
What did I think of it? It was 100% great. The fact that my face was in it. Nah, but all seriousness, I did really like the trailer. I felt that it really was an exciting one at that. That one that can intrigue the viewer into saying, maybe I should really check this out. And this trailer, I feel, will inspire people that probably don't even know JTV, that I feel that they saw the trailer online, that they can say, maybe this is something that I could get interested into. And like I said, becomes a chain effect. That person becomes interested, then the next, and so on and so on. And like I said, our community, our family continues to grow bigger and stronger. And that, in essence, is part of the fulfillment, part of the main goals.
Absolutely wonderful. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this interview has come to a conclusion. I know some of you at home watching and listening are saying the same thing I'm saying. Thank God, because I was sick of hearing them. But we'd like to remind you fans to be kind enough to hit that like button. You see that thumb? Hit that thumb button. Hit that like button. Show us some love. Comment, subscribe, share the hell out of this. Tell your friends. Tell your friends to subscribe. Comment. I mean, we love to hear fans' comments. Comment. Talk about how you feel, what you think. We want to hear from you. With that being said, he is King Leo. I am J-Kid 2009. Thank you for listening to this interview, and we will see you for our future interviews right here on the JTV Wrestling channel. Thank you for watching, and good night.